2 hours ago, Taehyung and Jungkook performed their latest album together with the other BTS members. Their performance was absolutely stunning. Jungkook looked deeply in love with Taehyung. His gaze during the interview made it very clear. The host and everyone in the studio seemed to notice it as well. Throughout the interview, it felt as if the world belonged only to the two of them. At one point, the host jokingly asked whether they would return to Los Angeles, knowing that they both have a luxurious home there. In a playful response, Taehyung held Jungkook's hand and said, "Of course, that's our home," while laughing. Watch the continuation of this video and don't miss it. Before we start, make sure you're ready to love this moments. Welcome to VKook. The atmosphere inside the Spotify New York studio felt warm and intimate as Taehyung and Jungkook sat side by side after their stunning performance with BTS. Beneath the soft glow of the studio lights, the two radiated a sense of comfort that only comes from people who have spent thousands of hours together. The host began the conversation on a deeply personal note, asking how they define such a strong bond amid the noise of global fame. The question seemed to open the door to a love story long implied through glances and subtle gestures on stage, creating a meaningful silence among the staff present. Taehyung, with his deep and calming voice, answered that love for them is not something that needs to be declared grandly, but something found in small, simple details. He explained how Jungkook's presence is an anchor that keeps him grounded when the world feels too loud. For Taehyung, their love is about understanding each other without many words. A secret language formed through years of growing up together from adolescence into adulthood. He looked at Jungkook with a proud sparkle, admitting that every note they sang together in New York that night was a love letter to the journey they have shared. Jungkook responded with a sincere, soft smile when asked how they keep that affection alive despite their exhausting schedules. He revealed that Taehyung is his home, the person who always gives him the courage to be himself without any mask. For Jungkook, love is about a sense of safety. The safety to fail, to cry, and to dream higher because he knows there will always be a hand holding his. In a city that never sleeps like New York, he feels that simply being by Taehyung's side brings him the purest peace. When the host asked about the most memorable moments in their love story, the two paused briefly before exchanging a quiet, knowing laugh. They shared that it wasn't grand stages or international awards that meant the most, but the quiet moments behind the scenes, like sharing a pair of earphones on a plane or walking along New York sidewalks at dawn. Their love was described as an evolving symphony, where their differences create harmony, forming a bond stronger than ordinary friendship. The interview concluded with a reflection on the future, where both agreed that their love is a commitment to continue growing together, no matter the challenges ahead. They emphasized that what the world sees is only the surface of a deeply built emotional connection. As they left the Spotify studio, the warmth of their conversation lingered, leaving a strong impression that behind the glitter of global stardom lies a deeply human, honest, and enduring love between Taehyung and Jungkook. The dim lights of the Spotify New York studio created an exclusive atmosphere, as the aroma of expensive coffee filled the room. On a dark brown leather sofa, Taehyung and Jungkook leaned back, still wearing traces of their stage makeup after their powerful performance with BTS. The host, a man with a warm baritone voice, leaned forward, opening a session that felt more like a heartfelt conversation than a promotional interview. "You just shook the stage, but in here the atmosphere feels so calm," the host began with a smile. "Taehyung, Jungkook, many people feel there's a very different energy when you stand side by side. How do you define such a strong connection in the midst of the world's noise?" Taehyung paused for a moment, his fingers playing with the edge of his jacket before turning toward Jungkook. "Love for us isn't something that needs to be shouted grandly," he said in his signature deep voice. "It exists in small details. When the world feels too loud, Jungkook's presence is the anchor that keeps me grounded. We've grown from teenagers into adults together, so it's like a secret language that doesn't need many words." The host nodded, then turned to Jungkook, who had been listening carefully. "Jungkook, with such a busy schedule, how do you keep that affection and closeness alive?" Jungkook gave a sincere, gentle smile. "Taehyung is my home," he answered simply. "For me, love is about feeling safe. In a city like New York that never sleeps, everything moves so fast. But when I look beside me and see him, I feel safe to be my true self, even to show my weakest side. I can dream higher because I know there's always a hand holding mine." That's very profound, the host said. And if I may ask, what is the most memorable moment in your story? Is it a big stage like earlier, or something else? Taehyung and Jungkook exchanged glances, then laughed softly as if sharing a secret only they understood. Not the big stages, Jungkook replied with a smile, but the quiet moments, like sharing one pair of earphones on a plane, or walking along New York sidewalks at dawn when everyone else is still asleep. That's when we truly feel we belong to each other. So it's like an evolving symphony, the host asked as he wrapped up the session. Taehyung nodded firmly, looking at Jungkook with pride in his eyes. Exactly. Our differences become harmony. We are committed to growing together, no matter what challenges come in the future. What the world sees may only be the surface, but for us this is real dedication. As the studio lights slowly dimmed, they exchanged handshakes, but the warmth of their honest conversation lingered, proving that behind global stardom lies a deeply human and enduring connection. After the atmosphere in the studio grew quieter, the host took a deep breath, as if still immersed in the emotions that had just been shared. He then asked one final question: how their feelings and bond translate into a message for the millions watching them around the world. Taehyung and Jungkook exchanged a glance, silently deciding who would speak first. Before Taehyung leaned forward, his gaze focused on the camera. Taehyung began in a soft, steady voice, saying that the love he feels for Jungkook and the other members is the same energy he wants to share with the global army. He encouraged fans not to feel alone in their struggles, because through their music and presence, BTS hopes to become a warm embrace that transcends countries and languages. For Taehyung, ARMY are silent witnesses and an essential part of his most meaningful journey of love, and he hopes his courage to love and be loved honestly can inspire others to love themselves just as sincerely. Jungkook continued with determination, stating that every drop of sweat on stage in New York that night was a form of his dedication to those who support them from afar. He emphasized that his special bond with Taehyung has taught him that sincere love has the power to heal and give limitless strength. His message was clear. ARMY are the main reason he strives to become the best version of himself, and true love is always worth fighting for, no matter how difficult the challenges. Together, they agreed that this message of love is not just sweet words, but a promise to stay true to themselves amid the immense expectations of the world. They want global ARMY to see that true happiness comes from embracing the people who make us feel enough and valued. Taehyung added that every letter, cheer, and prayer from fans fuels their creativity and love, creating an endless cycle between the stage and the audience. The interview ended with a touching moment as Taehyung and Jungkook gave a final warm greeting to the camera, a symbol of their deep connection with millions of hearts around the world. They left a message that love is a universal language that unites everyone on the same frequency, transcending distance. With bright smiles, they reassured the world that as long as there is love and support from ARMY, their story, both as individuals, as partners who support each other, and as part of BTS, will continue with even more beautiful and colorful chapters in the future. As a sweet closing, Taehyung and Jungkook exchanged a meaningful gaze, as if sealing a promise of loyalty before the world. The brief silence in the Spotify New York studio became a witness that their relationship is not merely a public narrative, but a soulful bond that has been tested by time and the immense pressures of the industry. With one final warm smile, they showed that in a constantly changing world, each other's presence is the one constant that gives them the strength to stand tall. The symphony of love they have built together now echoes across the world, touching the hearts of millions of ARMY who believe in their sincerity. The message "Taekook forever" is no longer just a fan slogan, but a representation of the long journey of two individuals who grew from teenagers relying on each other into adults who strengthen one another. Every stage they step on and every song they sing stands as lasting proof that genuine love will always find its way to shine, beyond all limits and expectations. As they step out of the studio and return beneath the New York sky, they carry with them the hopes and prayers of people around the world who wish to see their happiness continue. Their story is a reminder that behind dazzling fame, there is a place they call home in each other's presence. With unwavering commitment and an undying love, the journey of Taehyung and Jungkook will continue to live on as an inspiring legend, a beautiful story that will always be cherished and remembered forever. Leave your positive comments here. The best comment will be pinned as a way to honor their love. thank you to everyone who continues to support this channel. May God reward all of your kindness. This video reflects my personal opinion and interpretation. It is made for entertainment purposes only and does not represent confirmed facts.